Do you really find it very difficult to attempt the pharmacology exams, especially the written ones, the theory ones, and you're always struggling to get good marks and learn effectively and better so that you can write well and get good marks? So if you are that kind of a student, especially students, then this video is for you. Welcome all to Ste Pharmacology Difficult podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Radhika Vijay, MBBS MD Pharmacology, and this is the audio hub to get the best simplified basic tips, strategies, methods, and lots of ideas to learn better, understand better, and make your concepts crystal clear. If you really find, and if there's a question hovering in your minds, is pharmacology difficult? Lend me your ears for a while and let in the magic of knowledge. Now today is a topic for every pharmacology student. How to study well pharmacology to get very good marks in your exams. Well, if you have the right approach and a positive attitude, you can definitely master the subject and score very well in your exams. You just need to follow some tips and strategies that I'm gonna give you today. So without any delay, let's get started. Now, this first tip that I'm going to give you is a kind of a repetition from my last episode, but it is so inevitable that I cannot just skip it. And that is to understand the basics first. Make sure you have a very good grasp of the first section, that is the general pharmacology. Some concepts like drug mechanisms, receptors, pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamics, because you know what, these are kind of a building blocks of this subject pharmacology, and they are applied repeatedly in every topic. So if your concepts and your understanding of the terminology is very, very thorough, then I'm telling you, you can score very well in all of the topics of pharmacology once you master the basics. Now, second tip, definitely it's different. It's not a repetition from the last episode because this is not the same as the last episode. We are talking about your exams, so you need to be very well disciplined and organized also. So this tip is that you have to organize your study material. Now, if you don't have your books and your notes and your tools like flashcards, drug cards, etc. at the right place, arranged in the proper manner, and you are not able to find them during your exams, then everything will go in vain. Your all efforts gonna go in vain. How will you revise and how will you score better in pharmacology? Give some time, invest time in organizing the study materials, the notes, especially separate materials related to the drug mechanisms, adverse drug reactions, actions, clinical applications of the drugs. If you organize these notes and these study tools like flashcards, flowcharts, etc. separately in a proper manner, in your exam days, you just need to pick up the right thing and revise. You will not waste any time further. And in very less time, you can cover all the topics for your exams. Next important tip is a kind of a smart tip. Now, the first and foremost, when you study for the subject, focus on the high yielding topics. Yes, you have to judge and decide and evaluate yourself based on the examination pattern of the previous papers. What topics are really important, what you need to revise more and give more time, and what you can sometimes skip also, because when you are feeling short of time, then you need to skip some topics which are very, very less important. So accordingly, you have to give importance to each and every topic, which is the most important, which is a little less important, and which is the least important. So you should be knowing by your gut feeling that which are most likely to come in the exams, the most important ones. And when you try to identify such topics, these are known as the high yielding topics for your exams. So you have to prioritize these topics in your study sessions, give more time, revise more, and that will make a really very impactful influence on your scores. Your scores will suddenly rise very high in your exams once you make this judgment correct. That is very important. Next important tip, you should be using some wonderful active learning techniques. One of the techniques I told you in my last episode is Pomodoro technique. That is a wonderful technique. I'm not going to repeat it. You can refer to my last episode for that one. In this episode, I'm going to tell you about active reading and learning techniques. These are using flashcards, visual aids, practice tests, quizzes, mental ability tests, and yes, sometimes group discussions once you have learned the topic. After that, the group discussions really help a lot. Group discussions is a separate thing from group study. Group study is like learning the topic together. That is not feasible for everyone and not suitable for everyone. But once you have mastered and learned the topic very well, then you should definitely go for group discussions. That will make you evaluate yourself, and new ideas and new things you will be opened in front of you, and you will be exposed to much newer things which you sometimes might have missed, which are important and which you did not study. So you may get to know a lot of things with the group discussions after you have learned well. So this is what we call is active learning process. Passive learning is like sitting at one place and trying to cram up. That is a very obsolete thing now. It will never work for any subject, I think so. Next important tip, create a wonderful review and study schedule. Yes, something you can say a kind of a timetable or schedule, whatever you call it, whatever the word you like, you can use that. And I told you, pharmacology is one of those subjects which requires more of revisions and less of sittings. So you have to go for a proper schedule. In my next episode, I'm gonna tell you how to create a daily schedule for pharmacology studies, but that is for the next episode. Okay? You have to be very regular with the subject. Like, you have to give some time daily to the subject. You should give spaced revision to the subject. At intervals, you should be revising the subject thoroughly, and that will help you master some important topics really very well. And once your exams arrive, then you will not be ready to give a lot of time to each and every topic. So once you have made a daily routine of yourself to study this subject, rather not only this subject, you can apply a daily study schedule to every subject. Little time to every subject, and when the exams comes, you won't be burdened or stressed at all. Next important tip, do refer to the old previous papers, practice tests, mock tests, and accordingly decide the priorities of the topics, which are the most important ones, less important, and least important. Now with this thing, by practicing with the mock test and practice test, you will be able to monitor your time also, like in how much time you're able to finish. Your writing speed will be monitored, and that is very important during theory examinations. So you have to do actually what? You have to analyze your performance, you have to monitor your speed, and you have to analyze yourself in how much time you're finishing your paper or what is your writing speed. So accordingly you can judge yourself, and you can get to have an idea of how will you attempt the paper during the real exam. And you will also try to find out some weak points of yourself, and you will get to know where you have to improve a lot. So this is the advantage of doing some practice and mock tests, and also referring to the old papers. So these are some simple effective tips which you can really use to score better marks in especially I'm talking about the theory tests. Not about the MCQ tests of pharmacology, but the theory tests you can attempt very well. So by doing all these things, by mastering your basics, organizing the study material, creating a disciplined schedule, doing more often revisions, spaced revisions, daily revisions, good dynamic learning techniques and aids, and practicing papers in time-bound situations. What else is required to master a theory subject? All these tips you follow, and definitely you'll see a phenomenal increase in your marks in the theory papers of pharmacology. So if you found this video useful, don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more such informative and educative videos. For For all the updates and latest episodes of my podcast, do visit www.ispharmacologydifficult.com, where you can also sign up for a free monthly e-newsletter of mine, which contains a lot of updates about medical sciences, drug information updates, and my podcast updates also. You can follow me on different social media handles like Twitter, Insta, Facebook, and LinkedIn. They all are with the same name, is Pharmacology Difficult. If you're listening for the first time, do subscribe and follow whatever platform you are consuming this episode. Stay tuned. Do rate and review on iTunes, Apple Podcast. Stay safe, stay happy, stay enlightened. Thank you.